The Sleeping Jeremy pic destroyed my relationship. Hello, everyone. I would like to share this story as a warning and maybe to soothe myself a bit in this situation. I, 23M, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 23F, for over 3 years. We had our ups and downs throughout the years, but we've always managed to talk things through and communicate. Or so I thought. There's one important thing you should know about me. I have a pretty sarcastic and mean sense of humor. I laugh at people and may act disrespectful, but only as a joke. All my friends know about that and usually don't get offended. Sure, there were situations where I went too far, but it was rare and I always try to make up for it afterwards. Lately, I saw a few posts on this sub featuring the picture of Jeremy from Phineas and Ferb sleeping on the couch. I found it really hilarious and started using it as a reaction pic, mostly in situations when people were ranting or writing too much text about something. You know the classic, too much yapping, too long, fell asleep meme. Usually no one paid much attention to it, but I couldn't help bursting out laughing whenever I saw this pic. Unfortunately, one day I completely failed at reading the room. My girlfriend was visiting her family in another city, so she was away for the weekend. At one point, she texted me a block of text about her complicated family situation, her parents divorcing and her aunt getting sick, or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I wasn't paying much attention to the message because I was in the middle of a game, so I just sent the Jeremy sleeping pic as a joke. Then she started sending text after text, furious, about how I don't take anything seriously, how I make stupid jokes about everything, that she can't count on me, and stuff like that. And for some bizarre reason in my head, I thought it would be very funny to send the pic again. In my supreme stupidity, I did just that. Sent the Jeremy sleeping pic. Again, I know it sounds dumb, but at that time I really thought it would be funny. She blocked me right after that. I tried texting her on other social media and calling her phone, but she wouldn't pick up. When she came home the next day, she immediately started packing her things. I apologized multiple times and said it was just a stupid joke, but she didn't listen. She packed her stuff, took our cat, and left. I haven't heard from her since. I think she even changed her phone number because my calls kept failing. To make matters worse, our friend stopped talking to me as well. I'm afraid I'm going to get evicted soon since she was paying most of the rent. All of that because of a picture of Jeremy sleeping. And that's the story. If I want you to remember one thing from me, it's to be careful with your jokes. Take care, everyone. Update. Nearly 16 months later. Hello, everyone. As I noticed my old posts gaining views, reposts, and even people on YouTube talking about it, I decided to write a follow-up. At first I was hesitant, but some of you were curious about how things are going for me, so here it is. Let's start at the beginning. Shortly after writing the original post, I actually got evicted. My income wasn't enough to support the rent alone, so I had to move back to my parents' apartment. I can't say they were happy about the situation, but at least they allowed me to sleep on the couch until I found a new place for myself. I have to admit, losing my apartment, the breakup, and the fact that the majority of my friends turned their backs on me got me pretty depressed. I had trouble getting up for work, and at some point, I even took some time off. I told my parents I wanted to focus on finding a new apartment, but in reality, I just couldn't get up off the couch. I tried reaching my ex-GF wherever she hadn't blocked me. At one point, I even drove to her current place, but she wouldn't let me in, and her flatmate basically told me to get lost. Honestly, I don't know where I would be now if not for one of my friends who still talks to me from time to time. They suggested that maybe I should meet new people, find a new partner, or get out of the house, recommending a dating app or joining a board games club at my university. At first I was hesitant, but at some point I said, "What the hell?" and went with it. I'll skip the app stuff because it's neither interesting nor important, just a bunch of dead-end conversations with random people or bots. The board games club, on the other hand, was a brilliant idea. It was so refreshing to go there once a week for a few hours and just chill with real people. My mental state actually got better, and I met some like-minded individuals. At one point, I started talking with a girl who would come on the same days as I did. Our first longer conversation happened right after she kicked my ass in Magic: The Gathering. Turns out we shared a lot of similar interests and hobbies, so we started texting and talking outside of the club. We became good friends and even went on a date or two. After some time, I actually started developing feelings for her, though I couldn't really tell if they were mutual. Then came a week that was exceptionally bad. I failed an important exam at uni because I had to do overtime at work, got into a big argument with my parents, and my depression started manifesting again. I skipped the club meeting and started avoiding the aforementioned girl. I just didn't have the energy to talk, Plus, I felt uncomfortable not knowing how she felt about me. And on a Friday evening, while doom scrolling on the couch, she sent me a long text. She said a lot of things, mainly that she liked me, but wasn't sure if we should take our relationship further considering my mental state and her own personal problems. I read it all, and in a moment of absolute apathy, I thought, screw it, if it's going to fall apart, let it go out with a bang, so I sent her the Jeremy sleeping pic. I know what you're thinking. Yes, it was an asshole move, but I was so done with everything that I decided I at least deserve a bit of fun in the middle of this disaster. However, nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. I expected an angry text, an instant block, and the cold shoulder, but instead, she sent back a laughing emoji. She said she had just realized she genuinely loves my sense of humor and that I always know how to cheer her up. She apologized for the long text, said she had also had a rough week, and suggested we talk about our relationship in person. Long story short, we've been together for 6 months now. We've managed to find an apartment with a decent enough rent, and we're looking forward to adopting a cat together. The Jeremy sleeping pic has kind of become an inside joke for us. We still send it to each other every now and then. I can honestly say I've never been happier. So that's it. I find it so ironic that the very same Jeremy sleeping pic that destroyed my previous life ended up saving this new one. Maybe it was never about the pic itself, but rather how it's used and in what context. Who can tell? What's important is that it all ended well.